which means that I get to ask questions. I see many old friends here. We still have Vani Tripathi missing. I wish you were Vani. So, as I was saying that I'm privileged to be the moderator of this session, and personally I hate those moderators who speak themselves a lot and never give a chance to actually get to hear the panelists. It's my game today to try not to be one of them. Let's see if I succeed. And lots of many prolific people here, and I'm going to start the conversation very randomly. We'll try to make sense. A small introduction about myself, for those who might know a little bit about me. I'll give you the reason why I'm entitled to be over here. It is that the first thing I ever directed on television was a show called Purushetra, which was a chat show about women. Yes, ma'am, you were there. It was a chat show about women, about men, called Purushetra, with a female moderator. So history repeats itself in a different way, like Kabir Das ki ulti Vani. And I am here.
Your female anchor is a member of parliament.
My female anchor is a member of parliament. And if it had not been for Ajit Andhare over here, I would have been the only privileged male gentleman here. So just working in Purushetra, as it happens, provided me a lot of insight and experience about women in this country, how things were changing, how interesting things were. And we, in this short discussion, are not going to perhaps come up with anything prolific, but we will mess around till you guys get a glimpse of the lives that we live, that each one of us lives, and in an experiential way, we leave something with you which is of interest. So I'm going to start with Ajit here. Are you getting this mic? Hello, hello. Hello. I'm going to start with you, Ajit. Would you like to say what you do?
So I guess, first of all, again, I feel privileged to be here on this panel. I mean,
Is the mic working? So sorry, Ajit.
Yeah, the mic is working, I think.
All right.
Yeah. So save the moderator. I am the only one of the male species here. What do? Is I make films at Viacom 18 Motion Pictures. I think what we are talking about is breaking the glass ceiling and the misogyny and all of that. And happy to say that I think for us as a studio, the journey has been one where we possibly discovered this truth, very early, and a whole lot of films that we did. The heroism, did not come from the hero, which is what has happened for almost 50, 60 years in the industry. But the heroism actually came from the woman, and so we realized that, stories can source heroism.
No, Ajit, let me try to add some personal touch and some controversy into the thing.
Oh my God.
Do you like women?
Of course I do.
Yeah? You feel happy? Would you like me to take a snap and send to you?
Absolutely.
But when you work with them, do you feel that in the kind of setup that you work in a media corporate kind of a setup, all white collar, but do you feel any difference in the two? Would you be careful of, or would you be thinking differently in hiring a woman, etc., over a man, etc.?
See, again, this would be very conditioned from the background that I come from, and I've largely experienced two sectors when you talk corporate, one being FMCG and the other being media. Certainly in the corporate, I would say that's a thought which has possibly never crossed my mind, or the professional setup that I've been part of. Yes, of course, because of the society that we come from and the natural skew of the society, especially in the FMCG, the ratio of women was of course much lower as compared to media and entertainment. In fact, I would say if there is one industry which embraces women wholeheartedly in the corporate sector, it is actually M&E,
That's why we are in the industry which embraces women, right?
Absolutely. So I would say certainly not at all. I think one aspect where I do experience that is, let's say we are trying to sell a film with a female lead versus we are
Many
trying.
men. Okay? One, I firmly believe that if women were not responsible for making children, we would be obsolete. Two, do you think the world is in a good shape right now? Do you think so? Does
Yes, I
anybody
think-
think so?
I think
Yes,
it's getting
no?
better.
Okay, well, I'm talking about war and famine and food distribution.
It's better
The
than last
world-
century. It's getting better every decade.
Okay, can I finish?
I'm
The
optimistic.
leadership of the world primarily has been in the hands of men. Give us a chance. We bring life into the world. We know the value of life. We were not prone to war so easily. Give us a chance. And three, women to get to to get to the same stage as men in career or in any other field have to work twice as hard. And I think all women here would agree with me on that.
I don't agree about the asking for it.
Yeah.
I believe
like,
that real power has to be taken and not given.
Yes,
So then why, who are you asking?
I am not asking. I am saying it's happening. And we might as well brace for it. Because if we are going to live in the illusion that this country is going to become a superpower or that the wars will come to an end, and barring a few countries, more or less the laws are in favor of patriarchy, and it's so conditioned because feminism is not a biological thing. Just because I'm a woman, I'm not a feminist. Just because
That's
you're
true.
a man,
It's
you are
not
not
that-
patriarchal.
Imtiaz,
right?
Absolutely.
have your good looks come in the way of your career?
I would like to say, first of
My
all,
good looks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can I just say something?
Is
Oh,
your-
it's the first
has
time he
your-
heard that, didn't he?
Is
Huh.
your vision?
It's a question just keeps getting asked to women, you know. It's like,
No, but
are your
I
looks
want-
coming in the way of being taken seriously? I keep,
Sona,
yes, for
I
the
want
longest
to-
time.
I want to say something that I'm not ashamed to admit. For the longest time, for most of the industry, I wasn't even good looking. I was only good looking for my mom and dad. Because I was little savli for a Punjabi, you know, not a model-esque kind of figure. So thank you for the compliment. And no.
No, I'm your fan. I think you're definitely one of the best actors we have.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
I go to watch your films, and ever since I saw you first as Dolly,
Yes.
I could never forget.
Can I say something here?
Yes.
Yes.
just one
Yes.
thing.
Monica, yes.
No, I
please.
just wanted to add that, I think it's really not about asking based on your gender. Anything, it needs to be gender agnostic in terms of whenever
That's true.
you
I
are
believe that.
looking for something, whether you are a particular role, that's a career opportunity, role opportunity. If the role demands it to be in terms of, in any form, it needs to be gender agnostic. I think what is happening by and large is that there is a perception, not a perception, but a reality in many cases about that it is assumed that being a woman, you will not be able to do those roles. And I'm again talking with reference to the corporate world. But let that, so it's not about women's right and saying that give us a chance and we can prove men wrong. It's not men versus women really, as much
Sure.
as being, is that particular role or an opportunity for the, look at the talent, not the gender.
That's
I
true.
have a request to
Yes,
make
ma'am.
of any corporate person here, while here on the stage or otherwise, is that it all starts so early. I mean, last year I got into this controversy, one more controversy with the IIT Bombay issue, where I don't know if all of you were very busy, but I wrote this open letter finally after being invited for 3 years in a row to go and play their festival. Just to give you an idea, the specific request I have to make of brands and any corporate person sitting out here is, if you do really stand for the idea of equality and equal opportunity, when you are sponsoring even something as simple as a festival in a college campus, and you're not taking note about the fact that for 3 decades in a row, there are no female headliners, be it in music, be it in the literary section, be it in the theater section, be it in the stand-up comedy section. Year after year, you are propagating the myth that the male is supreme, and at best, I'm a decorative add-on, or I can only come a third best. You're propagating that system and that hierarchy right from the very start. So while I'm traveling so much and performing so much, It breaks my heart to tell you that after I wrote that open letter, I used to at least perform in the female colleges because, as I said, women for women is like understandable because we are going to discuss some very womanly issues. But for a female headliner to go with a band and even perform in a university, and you know, these are big, big festivals, they are always backed by the big brands, but nobody bothers to check that year after year, you have 5 days of performances and it's always a male headliner. It's always a male headliner. And these are the little, I can only speak from my personal perspective. I'm
Sure.
sure the other professionals
Well,
have
my
their own
personal
requests.
perspective is that when I was in Delhi University, I would love to go and see a female performing over any man. It is not even talent, it is love. But coming to Tanishta, we were talking about, yes,
just
Vani.
one rejoinder to the last thread of thought on prettiness. I thought is just something that, you know, for example, in the film industry, it's very, you know, it's sort of normal to say, show me your pretty face. And, you know, being in the film industry as I was for 10 years and also, you know, having come from theater, I used to always wonder that what is it that it is just
How do you
about
make
a
the pretty face, huh?
Well, I think
Pretty face.
well, I have done theatre with you. I think it wasn't just about a pretty face. But I'm just trying to underline a fact that there are some distinctions which have become very sort of solidified. They have become almost insignia of whatever is equated to being a woman or her womanhood. And being a pretty face just happens to be one of those realities which most women are faced with. And I think that is again that distinction which we need to make. Whether it is the agender, as Monica said, there's a big movement on right now in the West saying we are agender, and men and women are coming out and saying we are agender. But this distinction of show me your pretty face, which is very normal, it's just, I think that needs to be understood also, you know,
Yeah.
in some context.
Let's try to understand it from Tanishta, who's worked in different cultures in the media industry as an actor. And first tell us, what kinds of people have you worked with in terms of nationality and culture? And then if you can go ahead and tell us if there is any difference in this question of being gender agnostic in different cultures.
It's a very long discussion, but
I know, some highlights,
yeah, I mean, I've worked,
controversial ones.
Yes, I have worked in Europe quite a bit. I've worked in Australia, I've worked in America, and in India. I mean, like when you ask the question, you know, we have a lot of powerful women CEOs and politicians, and you know, in positions of power, we have a lot of Indian women. But when it comes to a generic society, we still face biases constantly. And I would completely agree with Vani there that because of a feudal background, we have two sections, very demarcated two sections, where some people who come from a very privileged family, which comes from a caste system and, you know, the feudal order, they get all the exposure, so it doesn't matter. Gender really doesn't matter there. But the patriarchy there helps you to reach a particular position. You have a powerful brother or a father who puts you in that position. And if you don't, then it's difficult and the struggles are large. Though I think the narrative is changing. Whereas I think in the West, probably in the more developed countries as we speak, the equality when you just live in society at large, in a middle class society, it's more equal. But those like really high positions, it's tough. You know, we were promoting a film called Parched, which is about women and sexuality. And we had a screening in one of the most gender equal societies and countries of the world in Sweden, in Stockholm. And even in Stockholm, women came to us and said that we identified with these stories, which is about domestic violence, which is about subjugation of desire in women, about how a prostitute deals with age. It's the same narrative. So I think the narrative in that sense doesn't change. Like I was just speaking to Shona, like inside, I was in a panel in Telluride a few years back where we were discussing why Hollywood is so underrepresented as far as women are concerned. And though there are many powerful producers in Hollywood, there are very few directors who are women. And even the powerful producers are unable to bring forward those stories which women want to tell. So there's clearly like a control in terms of, you know, how the narrative would go. And I mean, as an artist and as a person who's a performing artist again, as an actor, what I would like to see, and I agree with Shona there, that we have to create our own stories. We have to say that, okay, if I'm not getting a role like this, then let me write for myself.
Yeah.
And let me
Yeah,
change
but
the
then
narrative like
that's
that.
also unfair because you're not a writer. I mean, you
No,
might be,
I'm not
but many
saying
people
me-
are not.
me as
But you
Tanishta.
rally around with
I'm
women
not saying me as
or come
Tanishta, but
around
I'm
with
saying
like-minded
but then
people.
that's not the
women
way to
and-
become gender agnostic, I would think.
But we have to start somewhere.
But you have to start
can't
somewhere
remain,
because the thing is that I also very strongly feel that our society at large, you know, the narrative for women will only change through pop culture. Because pop culture is a space where people grow up with those ideas and those images without really underlining or thinking about it.
Well, I agree to that.
And
So
while there's
we-
such
unless
excellent
we change it through pop culture, and in our country film is such a huge pop culture, we will never see that change. It is not about teaching a guy or a girl that this is how you should behave. It's just telling them effortless stories where you just represent women differently. And
That's true.
And for that to be written, we as women or as men have to take a very active interest. Even at times when it fails at the box office, we still have to make that change and that be that responsible as a society to make that change in the narrative.
And I think that even as filmmakers, we have to be responsible to make it reach out even more
Yeah.
if you have something to say, to make it even more interesting and entertaining.
Yes, and I think, you know, recently I always give the example of a film called Sairat, which actually,
Also produced by
Is that a
them.
bad
And
thing?
it's very regressive. No, it's not a bad thing. But the regression, and that's why when I was
So
trying
these
to speak
women are
about-
very male
when I was-
chauvinistic.
Yeah, you know, that's why I was
fed in
speaking
with
about
that,
the shared
constantly feeding
collaboration,
women
that
also with the same
this
information.
this bastion is very regressive right now. This space is very regressive right now. And the funny part is, in terms of content, films have taken a big, I mean, I can understand why that gentleman said the word trend. Because the propaganda used to be that women protagonist cinema is commercially unviable. That has gotten broken, you know, in recent
That's true.
times.
That's
And
true.
that is the progression that you see, and yet television and content is getting increasingly regressive. And we should be very worried about it as you know, as society
Because
right
the
now.
penetration is so much higher. It's going into every home, and even women watching them is dangerous because it's creating a sort of stereotype in everybody's mind.
Yes, Richa.
It's a little more complicated than that. It's a little more complicated than just progressive attitudes at play. There is a huge English, Hindi or English and Tamil, Telugu, Gujarati divide. The serials that are made for the national viewing have a certain format. And then literally you see versions of them in any other regional language. You and I will not watch Nagin on TV. We'll watch Amazon Prime or we'll watch Netflix. But this is the divide between, say, my grandmother who watches these shows, my mother who will probably watch Zindagi channel, some nice, literally Pakistani or Turkish dramas now, and me. So I think it's more of a class and language thing. However, I completely agree. It is a very, very dangerous thing because like some 10 years ago in Gwalior or Indore, a kind of school propped up to educate women how to be ideal bahus, and then they had these posters of famous TV actresses, all of whom I know personally, who wear shorts and bikinis and take lovely holidays with their boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever. And it taught a woman that the woman could go there and learn how to be the ideal wife. And we've all grown up on this, or like all this Bhabhi tum khushiyon ka khazana, Pehli Kiran, and all or ads. Ooh, ouch. सुबह से शाम तक 8 बजे नाश्ता, 10 बजे something, 11 बजे ये, 12
that a
बजे
song?
बच्चे.
Is that a song? Wow.
No,
This
but
is
right
an
now,
ad
even in
for,
advertising,
It's an ad. Okay,
is
even
an
for
okay.
Father's
ad
Day, right now in advertising, the current trend is women's liberation right now seems to be everybody's dharohar. Because in advertising, Father's Day maybe you have to
Questions.
show the fact that it's
Imtiaz.
all very...
Yes.
Imtiaz, one question.
Yes, sir.
Richa and Tanishta specifically, you have been part of some path-breaking cinema in the past. Do you think today on this platform, there are still some stories, untold stories, which needs to be told, and you need to be part of it as such?
Sir, how we'll tell all stories in 40 minutes?
No, not 40 minutes. Maybe there are some strong subjects here you feel could make a difference when we are talking about women at large. See, we are talking about breaking the glass ceiling, but practically everyone is staying in
there are ample number of stories that need to be told, and there are those stories. I've recently finished a film which is a period piece, which is the life of the first practicing woman doctor of India. And when I did her biography, actually today, as Ajit is saying, you know, if I'm talking about positivity, when I look at her life, who was born in 1864 and she lived till 1955, and the kind of struggles that she went through to become the first practicing female doctor of India, to the life that I have, I think, yes, we have made progress.
I
So
would love to
that's-
see a
So
Gauhar
let's-
Jan. I
sorry.
don't know if anybody has heard of Gauhar Jan.
Richa has got
She, yeah, I mean, we have, but, well, she was the first recording artist of India. She was a superstar. तब तो billboards और वो TV नहीं होता था. But on the Matchbox के cover में उनका मुंह रहता था. And she was like a queen in her own day. But I just need to connect the dots here and tell you that at the turn of the century, you had a Gauhar Jan, who was a female superstar. But yet she was not accorded, even till now, a female ustad. There is no equivalent of an ustad or a pandit when it comes to a female performing artist who has reached that level.
Well, that's
वो
true.
कोठे में रहती थी, and the men occupied the concert stages. So for me, Gauhar Jan and her ilk were the first empowered women of our country, because they were the first women who could earn a living and have money in their pocket that was their own and not a brother's or a father's or a husband's. They were the first ones to own property, not in their name. They were not even allowed to own property in their own name. So it was in a brother's name or in somebody else's name. But they were the first ones to pay property taxes. So the lineage of the artist, so to say, without the dignity accorded, or this ustad and pandit thing that I've been screaming about for a long time, I mean, in today's day and age, we still do not have an equivalent of an ustad and pandit. It's something to worry about. So the story of a Gauhar Jan and her life, I would say, would make for a very interesting film.
So there you are, many
If you're
stories
making one
that
Imtiaz,
answers
I'll
your
sing for
question.
it. Huh? I don't get
Sorry,
to
are you
sing
saying
much.
something? Have I interrupted?
Yeah, I said if
Richa
you
had
make
something
if
to
you
say.
make one like that, I'd sing for it. I have a good voice.
Yeah?
Richa,
Okay.
Richa had something to say.
Let's talk about
Imtiaz,
that.
I did a pitch
Yes.
also.
Yeah,
Hold on, just-
I have a question for Richa and Tanishta.
Hold on, can you stand up wherever you are? Yes.
I am Jyoti Venkatesh here, journalist. Question to Richa as well as Tanishta. Both of you are good actresses who acted in different kind of films of different genres. But can you tell me frankly, as actresses, whether it is different and difficult to act with a female director or with a male director? Because sensitivity is something different and mindset also
That's a
different.
good question. I'd like an answer as well.
That
Is it
work-
different?
Working with the...
Please tell us the lie.
My mic
Trick
is
question.
not working.
You got your answer.
Oh, I thought it's a conspiracy. Sir, hello. Jyoti Venkatesh sir. Hi, how are you? Sir, one of my third big job in life was to work with a director called Meera Nair. It was just a short film, not released yet. And I observed how she walked into the set and how she commanded respect without ever raising her voice. And it was like a bustling crew which would often fall silent, but not out of fear, but out of respect. And she would be able to achieve whatever she wanted. And that taught me that I had been conditioned to believe that in order to get ahead, a woman has to be a bitch. You understand? And that, I'm really glad I broke that concept immediately, because I saw, okay, this woman is my director. She could also be my friend. She could also be maternal towards me. And I learned so much from that. So I think it's fun to work with a good director, irrespective of gender.
And Tanishta?
Sorry, I have the
would-
last
I
question.
would completely
Tanishta,
agree
you are
with-
not replied.
Yeah, I would completely agree with Richa.
Tanishta, you are not replied.
What I
Yeah,
would-
she's replying if you let
That's
her.
what I'm replying, that I would completely agree with Richa. I've worked with both female and male directors, and I think it's very individual. It's not gender specific at all. You can have a very insensitive female director and a very sensitive male director, and vice versa.
Geraldine,
not
do you
gender
want to
specific.
say something to that?
Yes, this reminds me, just listening to the questions, of what often happens for us as professors, that even if we're talking about women's history or we're talking about women's subjects, that the questions are all dominated by men. And I keep wondering whether it's something that men can't resist, sort of stepping forward and being first. And there hasn't been, at least from my perspective, a question yet from a woman in the audience.
But there just have been, they've just been.
She wanted to ask a question, but her mic was passed on to him. Is this true?
All right, so we'll take your question, ma'am. I'll come back to you. Thanks for the gesture. Yes, ma'am.
It's really fascinating listening to this. So I'm coming from Canada, where as somebody who'd never done a film before last year, I too didn't think I was a writer, but I contacted, we have organizations that support women in film. So my question here is, are there such organizations in India that support women in film? And because mentorship is a huge part of it. Is if you can find mentors within your field, they help each other. And I think that's how I've seen women get ahead, at least in North America.
I think
there's a new one of cinematographers, DOPs that have come together to make a collective just last week, and they plan to.
And there's a pre-existing one called Women in Film and Television.
Yeah, it's a worldwide organization. It's the same thing.
Now you're here, you'll make it work. And sir, thanks for the very good gesture. Your question is the last one.
How do you visualize the face of women in films 5 years from now?
Who is this to? Tanishta.
Like I said, that I would want like to change through pop culture, because I think pop culture is a huge tool of the way things can change. So the way I visualize is to have very interesting characters of women and all kinds of characters being portrayed, the entire diversity, to celebrate like all kinds of women through cinema, through TV, and not just stick to the stereotypical roles that women play in films. And also to celebrate all kinds of different kinds of looking women, like whether it is skin tone, whether it's body shape, whether it's straight hair or curly hair or petite or tall, and just celebrate the entire gamut and diversity of how nature has created us, and not to make all of us look the same by keeping certain yardsticks of this is how beauty or images of women should be defined.
We've actually gone backwards on this. Sorry to cut you, but we had actresses like Madhubala, Nargis, Nutan, Meena Kumari, who could carry a film on their shoulders. They were there. Whether it was as early as Bandhani or Achut Kanya or Mother India, there were women who were strong and who were very, very loved. I don't think that, I don't see that kind of stardom even. It's a much quicker FMCG category, I'm told, the Indian heroine.
I just want to add one last thing, because it always comes down to films, and that seems to be the center point. But we've been having a very, very interesting phase in the last 2 weeks, where I think it starts with the acknowledgement that women's issues seem to be at a flashpoint when it comes to the media. So be it the TVF Aruna Kumar controversy and sexual harassment being discussed as a debate, or be it, I've been wondering why Alia, who is such an immensely talented, brilliant and amazing actress, with a family to tell her and give her guidance, because she is within the industry, would do a Badrinath Ki Dulhaniya and putting it out there with the names. Or cut to, I'm just saying, let's just connect the dots, a Gurmehar Kaur who got trolled, because I regularly get trolled, because we can't miss out the fact that while the media seems to pick up on all these women issues and they put out all these open letters, when you look at the comment section, you will realize how little things have changed when it comes to the larger masses and numbers, because the haters can really like mess with you in terms of putting you in your place when you come from this gender. So the point I'm trying to make here is, and Gurmehar Kaur, because it's a political event, we are living in a very polarized world, so everything seems to go either this way or that way. Interestingly, I noticed that ultimately what came down to how Barkha Dutt was actually teaching her to do all this. So it's very easy to pick up these demons and to demonize, I believe, this gender, specifically now when I'm talking about the internet. It's not something we should miss out on because it plays a very critical role in how we are shaping a whole generation. If you notice, most young girls from colleges who follow me, they all have private profiles. They are scared to even publicly be there. So while we like to think that things are changing in the urban space and all, I think it's maybe a topic for another day, where our open spaces being safer. And when you are talking media and entertainment, we cannot forget that the internet and the social media really plays a very, very critical space. So if I'm getting rape threats on Twitter, if there's somebody watching out there and who's from Twitter, should know that those accounts should be just shut down, period. And no coming back after 2 weeks.
So, yes, Monica. Yes. Just the last minute, yes.
Yeah, just to sum it up, I think the entire media and creative communication industry, whether it's advertising, television, or films, can play a huge role in actually addressing all the questions which were raised today. Is representing women very subliminally in roles which are not make a big deal about it that I did this, and it should become a very natural progression in our society. Only will the actual grassroots change will happen.
So there we are at the end of this wonderful session. Too many of us, and I hope there is something that threw up which you'll take home. Thank you very much to each one of you for being here.
But rather put it on digital and not worry about broadcasting.
Not at all, and even
not worry about the P&A.
Not even worry about the theatrical in case.
That opens up a lot of opportunity for you as an actress.
Yeah, certainly.
And
that is always welcome. What I had noticed from a lot of films that I've done, one burns one's heart and soul in making a film, and then because the distribution or the P&A is not good enough, or it's an indie sort of film or a niche sort of thing, then it becomes extremely difficult to send that film out into the larger world. With the advent of digital stuff, it's become so much easier to be able to directly access your audience. And if it's good, then word of mouth sends the film into another orbit. As in the case of Chutney, it's at 47.5 or something million views. So we spent 0 rupees on advertising it, nothing at all. So yeah, I think it's just absolutely fabulous, both for the audiences and for the makers, because the audiences also don't want a overly marketed film which is pushed down their throats every single day. And the makers, of course, want to not spend additional money on top of the product. I'd rather spend on making a very good film than on just pushing it out there. So I think it's a win-win.
Raghav?
Yes, sir.
How about you? What are the differences that you've seen? You know, you were a struggling actor, then moved into the...
That's right.
Has that got anything to do with the social media presence?
Actually, no, the money was really good. There wasn't anything else to it. Telugu is a very cash-rich business. I do think the cinema is rather formulaic, but yeah, you know, you need to...
But did you get any international offers based on your social media presence?
No, I think largely it was based on what people perceive to be talent, but not really on the basis of social media presence. No.
Okay. So you're good to stay in a regional space, Vivek, and you think that it is going to, the alternative content also that you're creating,